All right, let's talk about Gemini, but I want you to forget everything you think you know. We're not scratching the surface with the usual stereotypes. No, this is the first of a three-part deep dive, and we are going straight to the core, to the very operating system of the Gemini mind.
You know, fellow Gemini Walt Whitman, he gets it. This quote isn't just some nice poetry. For a Gemini, it's practically a mission statement. It's the ultimate permission slip to be all the complex, profound, and contradictory things we're about to unpack.
You've heard all the labels, right? Talkative, changeable, maybe even two-faced. And look, there might be a tiny grain of truth in there, but it's like looking at the entire ocean and just saying, well, it's wet. I mean, yeah, it's true, but you're missing the currents, the incredible depths, and all the life teeming inside. So we're going way beyond the surface.
Okay, let's start with the big one, the trait everyone knows, duality. But we're going to look at this not as some kind of flaw, but as the foundational gift that makes a Gemini who they are.
This right here is the absolute key. This isn't an act. It's not one person putting on different masks. It's a genuine state of being. Two totally distinct souls, two whole personalities living together in one life. And here's the crucial part. They are never, ever identical twins. So think about it like this. One of those souls is the magnetic, charming life of the party, totally in their element. The other soul, that's the deep-thinking intellectual, curled up with a book at 3 a.m, lost in thought. Both are completely real. Both are 100% authentic. And you know, this whole idea goes way back. The constellation itself is named for the mythical twins, Castor and Pollux. One was mortal, the other was immortal. So when the mortal one died, his brother begged the gods to let them stay together. And the deal was they could share a life, but they'd have to alternate between the heavens and the underworld, between light and shadow. Sound familiar?
So let's just throw out that negative label, two-faced, right now. That implies that someone's being deceptive. Two-souled, though, that gets to the real truth. It isn't a character flaw. It's the beautiful, complex challenge of having two authentic worlds turning inside you all at once.
All right, now let's build on that. From their core identity, let's move to how a Gemini actually thinks. We're talking about a mind that doesn't just work fast, it moves at the speed of electricity. The Gemini mind doesn't just hum along, it snaps, crackles, and pops. Seriously, picture a crisis. While everyone else is still in that, wait, what's happening phase, the Gemini has already processed it, weighed every option, made a choice, and started moving. It's an incredible, almost instant processing power. And that mental speed? It translates into some pretty mind-blowing productivity. It's because their brain is just wired for multi-channel thinking. A Gemini can seriously get more done in one super focused day than many people can in an entire week. They're not just fast, they are incredibly efficient. You know, it's easy to see this as being distracted. Think about the Gemini kid who's doing their homework perfectly while also listening to the radio. They're not unfocused. Their brain is just running multiple programs at once, and it's handling all of them just fine. See, it's not a glitch in their system. It is the system. So, where does all that mental electricity go? Well, it gets channeled into their third incredible gift, their main way of interacting with the world, words. But this goes so much deeper than just being a good talker. This is the classic line, isn't it? The idea that Geminis are these natural-born communicators who could sell ice to an Eskimo or dreams to a pessimist. And sure, that's true, but that's just the tip of the iceberg of a much more profound power. This is where things get really interesting. In a lot of ancient traditions, there was this belief that to know the true name of something was to have power over it. The very first poets weren't just seen as entertainers, they were seen as magicians, as sorcerers who could shape reality itself with their words. That is the true nature of the Gemini gift. So how does this magic actually work? Well, that lightning brain of theirs lets them instantly see the true essence of a person, or an idea, or a situation. Then they give it a voice. They speak its true name. And in doing that, they have this incredible power to shape how people see things, to influence what happens next, to literally change the energy of a room. So what this all boils down to is this. For a Gemini, speaking is an act of creation. It's why their words feel like they have so much weight. They don't just use words like tools. They cast them like spells, whether they even realize they're doing it or not. Okay, let's move to our fourth and final trait for this first part. How do all these gifts, the duality, the speed, the magic of words, actually show up in the real world? Well, they create this powerful but kind of paradoxical magnetism. It's something you can actually feel. A Gemini walks into a room and there's this subtle shift. People are just drawn to them. And it's not because they're being loud or trying to be the center of attention. It's a kind of charisma that comes from being genuinely fascinated by other people. They find everyone interesting, and that makes everyone find them interesting. But here's the twist. On the surface, they are incredibly warm. They're engaging. They make you feel like you're the only person in the room. But just beneath that warmth is this core of intellectual coolness, an emotional detachment that's always observing, analyzing, and categorizing. And what you get is a social life that looks huge from the outside. I mean, a Gemini might know 1,000 people, collecting them almost like interesting ideas. But the number of people who actually get past that intellectual wall and form a really deep, true connection, it's tiny. They can connect with absolutely everyone, but at the same time feel like they don't truly belong to anyone. And this leads to this really poignant, really deep question that's kind of at the heart of the Gemini experience. When you have two souls inside you and a mind that sees everything from every angle, you can feel this very specific kind of loneliness, a sense of being an observer, even when you're the life of the party. So, let's just quickly pull it all together, everything we've covered in part 1 of our journey into the Gemini soul. We've explored 4 incredible gifts. The deep duality of being two-souled, the amazing processing power of the lightning brain, the reality-shaping magic of the name giver, and that paradoxical charm of the people magnet. These are the traits that are out in the open, the ones everyone can see. But that brings us to the big question we're going to tackle next time. If these 4 traits are the brilliant light show that everyone gets to see, what's the engine powering it all? What are the hidden mechanics that create all that electricity? Join us for part 2 as we go deeper into the machine.